How's it going, guys? Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have a special guest with us tonight. She can say her name, what she does, all that jazz.
Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for having me. I think your show is really cool. My name is Cassie Fireman. That's Fireman. And I'm the lead singer of my band, Dirty May. And I recently kind of came out as a solo artist, even though that term is super weird because it's like definitely a whole team of people. But yeah, so I'm just so grateful to be here to talk about music and just see where it takes us.
There we go. Well, I want to start off the interview with thanking Angela from Muddy Paw. She's the best. I love her.
Yay.
We've been working together
She
for many years, so always gotta make time for the Muddy Paw artists. So always a pleasure, Angela, as always. But Cassie, I have to ask. Angela had pitched me your email. This isn't something I would say your genre of music isn't something I typically cover, but as I have gotten older and hopefully a little wiser, I've just kind of grown musically, trying to expand my horizons, listen to different music. And I had listened to your newest single, Chase, and this will be released on the same day that Chase comes out, or around the same time. So guys, go check the links below to go give it a listen. And it was very good, for something that, again, I don't particularly listen to on a daily. It was very interesting and a nice change of pace for myself. But I'm very curious on, how did you start out doing music? Did you grow up in like a musical household? Like how did you get started into music? Because as a music nerd myself, I'm always very curious on like the first inklings of how people kind of get into music, because music is very eclectic, So how did you start out? What was your first introduction to like music itself and being like, I'd love to make music. That'd be really cool.
Oof, that is such a great question because I really didn't know I was going in this direction at all.
Mm-hmm.
But from a really young age, I've always loved music. I've always loved to dance. I've always loved to experience music with people.
Sure.
And I remember like being really young, like maybe 10 at Universal Studios and seeing Elvira for the first time.
Wow.
If you don't know who she is, she's just amazing. You have to look her up. And she was just like all leather, like glowing fire. And she had this whole chorus behind her. And I was like, wait a minute, like I can do this, And then I think I like forgot about it for 20 years and I like went to college, I went to UCSD, and I was like, I can't study dance or theater, music, or do any of that stuff. Like, really, because I need to like go do something else I don't like as much, And then I was like miserable in marketing and advertising, and finally I just like got all the way back to where I was going. But I have a background in acting and theater, so I love to write stories, and I've directed plays, and
very nice.
I've acted in different things, and I just love the creative process. And music has just become like this whole new world that I've been exploring for the past like 8 years or so now. Maybe, yeah, I think that's when it all started. And as I said, like I'm in a band with Dirty May, which is a totally different vibe from what this is. And so I kind of just get to express myself in these different ways. And so, yeah, that's, I guess, I don't know if I answered that specifically, but.
No, I feel like
There you go.
I feel like it's always, I think like music, like myself and doing YouTube, like people who know me prior to doing YouTube would be like, I would have never expected you to do this, because like I was never very good at public speaking or like talking to other people, and then meanwhile I'm doing a 180 and talking to people on the internet in video format or at
so
shows, right?
cool.
So it's quite a change. And so I feel like with music, like the people who do it are like in the weeds, it's very much like you do it all the way, or you don't do it halfway, it's 100%.
Yes.
100%. So
like you are
No,
Like
go
we
ahead. Go
need
ahead.
each other. Well, so I'm feeling you like I had this experience recently. We actually my Dirty May won this band contest like a few years ago at Grassroots, and then we got to like play on the main stage, and it was this whole cool experience. And then the power went out. And the power went out across the entire fairground,
Wow.
and we were like, "Oh my god!" All this work, blah blah.
Sure. Yeah.
Then like this amazing thing happened. It was like pouring rain and thundering, but like people started running around and being like, "Oh, Dirty May's gonna do like an unplugged, show like in the back of the barn, like under the trees." And like before we knew it, like everyone was just singing along the White Rabbit, and like the people made it happen. That's the point.
Yeah.
It's like if you're like in the music world, like how important you are, both as a fan, as a listener, as a musician, as
Oh yeah.
somebody holding space, platforms. Like we're all like because it's like we're each other's bloodline in this way. And like the music industry has totally shifted where we like have to rely on each other.
Sure.
So it
Yeah.
makes it even this cooler experience. At least that's been my experience. And um, yeah, so I just feel really grateful, really just to tap into this beautiful world of
Yeah.
like people and other musicians. And so I feel really, really grateful for
Yeah,
that.
I think there is a level of connection that you feel with those people because like they go through that struggle of being a musician and like the starting point of how everything comes to be. Like I always say, the artists that you look up to that are on like national TV, you don't know how many years they had spent like grinding it out in like small clubs
Mhm.
and just like working their butts off,
Yeah.
and so I feel like a lot of the times, with the people who I have on, they have a lot of respect for like making music and trying to grow as an artist. And I hope that, I'm just another like, person on
Yeah.
the list to get to the next destination. And I hope
Yeah.
that people take away like, if they like this style of music more in that sort of like pop, just, adjacent genre, I think that people, if they take away, they're like, man, Casey's great. I love her music. And like I had found out about her through your channel. That's like, to me, I there's nothing more or less that I can do. And I think that if people are like,
Uh,
I like this music and that's like what I'm about now, and I'm like a fan and I've gone to see her play shows, that's like that's big kudos for me because I feel like sometimes, it's like
yeah.
artists struggle to get to where they're at, and I just hope that again I can be a part of the journey. And again, Casey, appreciate you for coming on and taking the time. It's always like, it's always a gratifying experience to talk with other people that are just doing the work.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
But Casey, I have to ask, obviously we talked about a little bit of your journey, and you do have another project as well. How does this like, do you feel like your mental abilities as doing your solo work, do you think it kind of shifts based off of like, doing your other project versus this? Because I feel like there's like a little bit of a different focus in regards to like doing solo music and like writing your own stuff. So how do you kind of get into that headspace of like working on your own material and like, fostering that? Because I feel like that takes a little bit more effort than, being in a band and having that, because you have multiple people, they all have different ideas, but when it comes to writing your own
Yeah.
material, that's very personal.
Yeah. Yeah, it's totally personal. It's totally different. Dirty May is very much like you can hide behind a mask and play. I mean, I don't play character while I'm performing. I'm just saying it's just a little bit of a different vibe, and it's
Sure.
like
Yeah.
kind of a little uncomfortable because it's like definitely like whatever I was going through in the past few years over the big P when the big P hit. It's like, and then I'm like, whoa, like, art is always reflecting to me later,
Sure.
like after the song. And then you're like, oh gosh, and so even like this part of like, oh dear, here we are to talk about it. Like, can't really hide behind 6 guys in my band, but I've done the work. So I'm like, I'm prepared. And so I kind of just feel like, I don't know, the world is a really strange place. And like, I'm just like, I just want to hang out in the areas that feel good with the people that I want to be with.
Sure. And that
Yeah.
what kind of fostered like Chase, because I listened to it and I felt like,
Yeah.
there's this like free spirit about it. Like I love the music video. It was great.
So weird.
It's just so like not what I was expecting. When I clicked on the video, I was just like,
Yeah.
I wish I could have just recorded my reaction to it, because I was
Like
just like,
Spider
what,
Man.
what? I'm like, what is going on here? I was very
Look like
like,
a witch.
I was very thrown,
Mm,
That happens
yeah.
seldomly,
Good.
but I was kind of like
Oh,
this drew me in, and then once I actually, cuz I watched it a couple of different times just cuz I like want to listen to the actual music, the reason I would imagine
yes.
most people check it out.
Yeah.
The musicality of it was great. I really loved like the different layering going on within the song, like the way that you have like some of the more like choral aspects of your music where you could hear almost
Yeah.
like a lot of great harmonies and a lot of great melodies going on, and
Yeah.
that really sucked me
Yeah.
in. And then you couple that with the music video, I was already like, what's going on? But then the music was just like, all
Wow.
right, come on, let's go, let's listen to this, let's like immerse
Oh,
ourselves.
cool.
And I thought that was really neat.
Yeah.
It definitely reminded me a lot of like Adele. I hope that's a compliment. I mean, Adele,
Oh,
fantastic singer.
yeah, of
uh,
course.
but
My
uh,
goodness. I
but
love
I felt
her.
like that was kind of like my
Love
initial
her.
thought. And then I know that Angela had said also for fans of like Lana Del Rey, Taylor Swift, and I could definitely hear that. But
Hmm.
Adele was like the one that jumped
Hmm.
immediately. So I don't know if that's
Yeah.
one
Oh,
of your
goody.
influences, but I feel
I
like there
love
is a
Adele.
connection.
I just, thank you. Yeah. Thanks. It's probably like this for a lot of artists, but like, I don't know, it's just so weird trying to describe yourself to other people and like put yourself into like, oh, I'm a little of this and a little of that, but that's like sort of how people find you
Sure,
today,
yeah.
I guess. So it's just like, it's strange. So I do appreciate that reflection for sure. Um, and yes, I'm a huge, okay, this is kind of, I don't know if I want to go this direction, but you brought up Adele.
Okay.
So I'm married to the Dell. I'm married to the Dell dude. Do you remember that guy who's like, dude, you're getting a Dell computer? You remember that? Like
No,
those commercials
I
back in the
don't.
day. Oh my God, good. I didn't even know that either. Okay, it's a long time ago. So we have these friends of ours, and we went to a Halloween party, and my husband was the Dell dude, and then my friend dressed up as Steve, the Dell guy, and then his wife was Adele, and then they came as dude, you're getting Adele, and it was so clever. Anyway, that just circles into all of that, but like whatever. So um,
I
yeah,
love it.
but yeah, like yeah, Chase. I think instrumentally, I you know my producers and I went out to Joshua Tree to record
Oh,
that, and we built
nice.
up the studio there in a little place, and it was really cool because you could look out the window of the kitchen, and like there were these giant mountains, and like the sun was going down. It was like all
Oh,
purple and
that's
crazy,
great.
kind of like my background, but like
Yeah, I
with
was gonna say.
more layers. Oh my god. And then there was the chorus, Chase, and I was singing out, like singing in the microwave microphone. My God. And I was looking out, and then something came over me. I just like got really emotional, and like it belted out in this different way, and it felt like kind of like ugly and raw, but powerful and kind of
Yeah.
beautiful. Like whatever that sound was, it surprised both me and like Jordan. I remember turning back and looking at him. He's like, "Wow, what was that?" Like, yeah,
Keep
And I was
going.
like, "Really?" Like, oh, yeah. And we did, and then we're like, "Okay, this wants to build. Like this chorus wants to build," and we started layering in the harmonies, and that was really cool to see the story find itself, you know, together and in the moment. And yeah, that's the fun part. That's the real fun part for me.
Yeah, no, I could tell again, just with the musicality of it, It was very lighthearted, very fun, like very, again, that sort of pop adjacent kind of sound, and I really was something that I wasn't particularly expecting, but it was good to know that, like, there's just a lot of great songwriting going on within the song. So as someone who, again, has been critiquing
Thanks.
music for quite a bit, it was really nice, and again, something different from me personally to listen to.
That's
So
a huge compliment. Okay, well, I'm glad. We had to sneak onto the roller coaster.
I
We
did.
were not allowed to get that. Some guerrilla footage.
Oh man, oh man. All right, well, we'll have to cut that
Um,
part out of this interview, so we're not
yeah,
we're not I'm not trying to get in
trouble.
trouble with the law
Um,
here, you know.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want to be an accomplice, so
Um, yeah, exactly. We've all right. It's too late now.
it's yeah.
Um, yeah. So, but yeah. So it was really a cool experience. Like I almost didn't. Oh, you brought up a good point that I wanted to say. You were like you. Okay, so I almost didn't want to release this music video because it felt like um, it was such a different vibe from the music when I closed my eyes and felt the music to me. Um, and I just got into an interesting place about it, but it also told kind of a story. And then after sharing it with enough people secretly, it hasn't been released yet, but like, they're like, oh my gosh, I really like it. So it was like, it became not mine anymore. You're like, okay. So, and I like it. I look at it and I'm like, okay, I did that. And I got a horse and I rode on a horse along
You
Malibu
did.
Beach, and it was not graceful. It was not graceful. We had one shot. That's only one shot because that was the only time where I was like, it was hilarious. And then they told me when the horse got down there that it was afraid of water. I was like, why didn't you tell me this? We're going to the beach where the waves are. And this is like I actually got this horse at this amazing ranch. I'll have to like put it in the comments or tell you later, but all women ran ranch from rescue horses from
Oh, that's
big
great.
television and film out in LA and like horses that need to be helped, but they know a lot of tricks. So like these movie horses know a lot of tricks.
Oh
They're
yeah.
not like the horses I ride out in Costa Rica. It's like very different. We just kind of kick it and not kick it, but like I love horses as well. So, but I'm just saying this, yeah, like this other thing was just, it was this, Triton was a dear, wonderful horse. And if you poked it, it might just do a backflip. So it was scary. But I did it and we made it in there. So I don't ever have to do that again. It's
You've
cool.
reached your
It was
allotment
cool.
for horse riding in a music video. That's
I'm just like,
not too many
I'm
people
like,
can say
no
that.
problem. Oh, there you go. Get
I'll
my
give you the
unstuck.
kudos. That I was like, okay,
Thanks.
she went all out. The horse riding, some of the stuff in the music video, I was just like,
You're like,
she
oh
really just
my
like,
God.
again, not I feel like I'm underselling this music video to everyone, but genuinely I didn't know what was going on. I was just like, this is I don't understand it's like a part of the music video, but like I was kind of a little bit lost, if I'm gonna be honest. It was just it was just like I was like, the
Okay.
music's great,
Yeah.
but like I like kind of want to have Cassie on just to figure out what's going on within the music video itself, because it's just
Yeah.
like it is
Yeah.
it is an enigma, it is very much that, like.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
love
Well,
that.
it was also a way. Thank you. Thank you. And I think, and maybe this will add some, I don't know what, but
Hopefully context.
I think that, yeah, hopefully it adds some context. But yes, exactly. Like this song really came from a place of, like I've always been terrified of being married. Like I just, I've just been like, I don't know, man, it doesn't look good. Like things don't seem to work out. Just look at the percentage of people who don't stay together. It's not me. Like read the news, like whatever. But so it's like, a very common, fear to have,
Sure, yeah.
Um, and um, in my early 20s, like I actually married a bullfighter from Venezuela when I was living in Mexico. I was studying Spanish there, and I spoke no Spanish, so I learned Spanish. I speak hablo español ahora, and we're all friends till this day. And I'm married again, and so it's kind of funny because this marriage has been this like I don't want to get married, but really, I think the fear was that there would be this death of me
Sure.
if I said yes to someone. And if you just look back into the history of what marriage meant for women, it wasn't always so great for us. And there's sort of a lot of that. I mean, there it was for certain reasons because we really relied on. So, so it's really about redefining it for myself. And I got married in Mexico actually, and uh, me and Ben, we were like, we had a pinata, we were busting open the myths of long-term relationships together. We sang together, we're in a band together.
Oh,
We've been together over 10 years, and we actually have a really great relationship. And um, I've discovered something, which was that it didn't have to be so black and white. And that when we step into those things that feel scary and vulnerable for us, we can sometimes see color
sure.
in places we didn't think color existed. And for me, it felt important to, like I said, I feel like art is the one, and I call it art, music, art, writing. It's like I feel like I'm the last one to get the message. Like I'm the last one to get the memo. It's like it's teaching me whatever it is that needs to come
Sure,
out.
yeah.
And so I felt that in making the music video, it was just my way of, I'll give a little context, like more specifically, like when you watch it, there's black and there's black and white and there's color.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a back and forth between that story, and there's we spray painted like our like ripped up wedding gowns because we are like talking about there can be color, like it doesn't have to be, it wasn't real, it was like I got it at a thrift shop. Needed it after.
Respect, you know.
Yeah, yeah, planet, man. So yeah, so it's a form of storytelling for me, and anyway, it was kind of a playful way to talk about something that was actually hard and scary
Yeah.
to be with for so long for myself, and that's what's so great about music, and it's a real gift to get to do it.
Yeah, no, and I feel like that's the well-needed context that I needed because I feel like if you watch the music video, if you
Like I
don't
said that
if
in
you
the
don't know
beginning.
what's going on, you probably won't know what's going on. I'm just gonna cut it out there. That
Exactly.
first watch through, I was sitting here getting ready for this interview, and
What the F? Yeah.
I was like, what did I just watch? Like, there was a lot of colors going on, I was like, is this like, am I having a fever dream or something? Like, I'm like, it is pretty warm up here. So maybe I'm having, maybe I'm going nuts. But then now, obviously talking to you, Cassie, and kind of, understanding what's going on within the context of the song
Mhm.
as well as the music video. Yeah, it's golden. It's clear as
Yeah.
day now. Now I can watch it and be like, okay, that's the type of
Okay,
information I
cool.
needed. Where, and I think the thing that I appreciate the most about the music video now is the way that um you have painted a picture in that sense of like something difficult that people experience in that sort of way. I'm not married, but like I can imagine that type of reservation that you feel when you're in a long-term relationship where you're engaged or whatever, and feeling those sorts of reservations that you feel being within a relationship. So I could definitely resonate with that more so now, having the like thought process of like, okay, this makes sense. You're like, there's a certain level of things that you withhold within a relationship because
Groundedness, she's not totally in the clouds.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
like okay,
Yeah.
I'll give this person like 85% of myself, and then the 15%, that's the skeletons in the closet,
Right.
that I'm just gonna like they're not here. They're not here. Just like you kind of just let it go. And
Yeah.
I feel like that other fifteen
Yeah.
percent is that real stuff that you don't want everybody else to know. But if you are going to marry someone,
Yeah.
you hope that you can relinquish those feelings
Yeah.
and emotions, and I feel like that
Yeah.
I can resonate with the music video more so now, because it's just like you're like, yeah, you
That's
do feel that way.
awesome. Yes, absolutely. And I mean, really, you've helped me so much in just giving me space and a platform to articulate it. It's just one thing to have it up here and to be experiencing it, but to just be able to share it with another
Sure,
human
yeah.
and for it to land and for you to let me know that, you're with me on some level. But I was going to say one more thing. Yeah, just that um, I really had it like for so long that long term commitment, marriage, it meant like not freedom or not self expression or not independence. And I don't know, like I had that story in my head, and
Sure.
it almost had me miss out on like some really great partnerships. Um, so yeah, like there can be both. Like in fact, I feel even more myself and like even more independent and like it's just you never thought it's like Alice in Wonderland. You're like in another world and things
Sure.
aren't as you expected. So thank you. That's it feels good to share. And actually I'm really excited about sharing this interview, too, because it's gonna be so helpful and just having, share with people like what I'm sharing about.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you play such an important role. You're such an angel in that way. So I'm equally as grateful. And thank you to Angela too, who was so awesome
I
in
feel like
setting
I
this
have
up.
to be like the navigator. Like there's some things, like when you see a music video, and like there's a lot of context clues, right? Like
Yeah,
when I have people
yeah,
on, and sometimes like it's very black and white, where you can like see where this person is trying to go, or like within an album. I always say this in like interviews that I've done. I love when a band can tell a story, right? That's something that's really
yeah,
crucial to me, where you know you have song 1 and then maybe you have song 10 or whatever, and it's like, how do you get from point A to point B, and explain it.
yeah,
And sometimes bands do that, sometimes they don't. A lot of the times, you know it just kind of how the story is told and how it can be relayed to people. And I think that sometimes with interviews, it's always a great medium, in that aspect, because sometimes there's things that you can't say in a 3-minute song, but there's a lot more things to
yeah,
elaborate on or to go over, that I hope that people again pick up on those context clues of like what's going on within the music
mhm,
video and what's going on with the song, because I do feel like they pair well
mhm,
together. And well, like I said, initially didn't quite get it, but I feel like now that we've had the conversation, I feel like I've landed at the point where I'm like, okay, I get it now. It's all jiving, it's all making
mhm.
sense.
That's like the best compliment for me. Like, I love that you didn't like get it, like, and that it evolved and grew into this conversation that we got to discover together in real time in the moment. Like,
Oh yeah,
that's cool. I think, and it'll be whatever it is for anybody, whether they never see the music video or just hear the song. Like, I hope it just hits them in some way that makes them want to dance and also maybe just feel their heart a little bit
sure.
more. And yeah, and it's kind of quirky too. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird music video, but anyway, I love it in its own way. And I had such a blast filming it. And Pasha and Sage are two people that I've worked with, and they are just such an incredible team, and they are so fun. So actually, I shot two more videos with them that are coming out. I have two more singles coming.
Ooh,
Another one in February, another one in March.
wow.
So
It's
we'll
good
see.
things coming. So
But
I love to hear that.
yeah,
And in
yeah.
regards to that, Casey, I did have this forethought, and I don't. You can clarify if this is correct or wrong. I feel like this is kind of a larger thing. Like, are we gonna be expecting
Mhm.
some sort of EP coming from you down, down the pipeline, or is it just going to be kind of singles going, within the new year?
I've got 5 finished songs ready to go that I'm like ready to release, um, and I'm excited, and I'm ready to make another album. So I'm going to be recording in Trumansburg at Sunwood Recording Studio this February
Nice.
with another artist and Dashel Water, and it's going to be great. So like that's what's fun is being able to just be alive in the world, in that way. So I'm excited. I'm excited for that. So yeah, so it's going to keep coming. It's going to keep coming. And I've got a retreat coming up, actually, my 10th annual music retreat in Costa Rica. And if you like guitar, I don't teach guitar. I'm still learning guitar myself. But we have 2 incredible Brazilian jazz musicians who teach at Berkeley, like world renowned, and they teach
Uh-oh.
all the guitar, and I do the body work for musicians. So, and then my husband teaches the yoga, and we surf and we eat good food, and so you learn a bunch of new material on guitar every single day. So this will be our 10th year doing that, which I'm excited about, and we're also branching more out into recording and having artists come out and actually fleshing out their songs and stuff, since I'm really passionate about that storytelling. So I hope there's a lot more music that I can share with you too from everybody, because there's so many great artists today.
Oh
They're
yeah.
just out there. It's incredible.
It is
So
is
you
a
got to get
very interesting time to be in, as an artist and, people who curate music. Like there's all I always say I'm never going to have enough hours in the day to find, every artist I can. So try to spend the hours that I have or the people that email me and
yeah.
recommend me music just to just to be invested in, to try to get as much and as wide a variety of music as possible, because for me, I'm more into like the heavier like rock and metal scene, so that's like my bread and butter. But I always try to
Cool.
go out and listen to other types of music and really kind of broaden my horizon. So if you are an artist and you're watching this, let me know. Would love to have you on. But yeah, I always try to do something different. It's I feel like it's a point of pride for
Yeah.
me to just have as much and as wide a variety as possible, because the things that I like and the things that I kind of vibe with might be different from someone else, and
Mm.
very similarly to what we have here with Cassie as well. So listen, if you're into like that pop indie style type of music, check the links below. You should go give her a follow. It's great stuff. Um, but the next question I have
Thank
for
you
you,
so
Cassie, is
much.
what are you listening to currently? I always love asking this question. What's on your Spotify? What do you kind of listen to on a more daily basis?
Oh yeah. You're asking about Spotify. The thing I love and don't love is that when I create playlists, I can't. It's harder for me to keep track of the artist. So I guess, but I'm loving them, and then they move into their own station where I can keep better track. But so that's one way. I like to listen to new music. Also, Annie in the Water is a new band I really love.
Okay.
We played at Shakori Hills in North Carolina. Great band. We just played with them at Rockwood in the city. I really like this. Um, I'm just trying to think. I mean, I love a lot of bands. Like, I love a lot of different kinds of music.
Sure.
I love jazz. I love, blues and soul and hip hop and just a lot of different stuff. But um, um, yeah, Annie in the Water is one. Haley Jane is
Okay.
another band. She's a solo artist also that I've been listening to right now. Um, I mean, I love Billie Eilish. I listen to all her
Oh.
stuff.
Okay.
Rising Appalachia, have you heard of them?
I have not. I'll have to check them out.
But that's a very awesome band. Um, yeah, so I mean, I could tell you a lot, but so and then I still have friends that I stuff I haven't listened to yet. So yeah, just
Always
kind of hop around with whatever. feeling, you know?
Yeah, always listening to what's, listening to friends' bands. I'm in the same boat, listening to friends that I
Mhm.
love, listen to their music. And then I also try to listen to just a smattering of different artists every. I think my musical lineup changes every week because I'm always like,
Mhm.
what's next, and then being
Are
this
you
time of the year, I'm trying to like get all of my albums of the year and all that sort of stuff figured out, and it's just like, man,
right.
I barely know what I ate for breakfast yesterday, so it's
Yeah.
been difficult.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's just so much good stuff to check out, you know? It's
Oh,
hard to keep up
100%.
with it all. Driftwood is another really one of my favorites.
Okay.
Um, uh, um, Lake Street Dive,
Ooh, yes, they're great.
Donna and the Buffalo. Yeah, I love the Lumineers. I love like Edward Sharpe, and I like old stuff, like old rock stuff. My brother is really into
Ah.
like rock and what was it? What you said your favorite kind of music is
It's like
metal?
mostly
Did you
like
say that?
metal, yeah, like that sort of scene of
Yeah,
music, yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
It's a fun
I'm
time,
trying to think of a metal band my brother. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I'm curious about getting into metal. Like, I mean, I definitely like metal. It's just not a go-to for me. You
I
know,
I
I don't
got you.
like,
It's eclectic,
but
That's what I feel. It's like
yeah,
either I think it's like, it's very polarizing. It's either you like it or you don't like it, especially within
yeah.
the different subgenres and stuff. You can go nuts, So I do
Mm,
feel like there are artists out there that are a little bit heavier but also have like more modern kind of like
mm,
pop like writing, and then there's stuff that's just like will blow your face off,
oh,
just nuts.
yeah.
So I think there's
Alabama Shakes
Alabama Shakes is great, yes.
is just popping up, but there's so many different levels of like that kind of. Yeah, you can find your own what you love most inside of the hierarchy or just like the different levels of
Oh
that's a
yeah.
better word. Um, just so many different things to experience.
And I also think
Yeah,
like it's
I've
cool to
really been.
ask to I think it's also cool to ask because, there are some bands that I don't know that I've wind up loving
Yeah,
just by asking that question. It's like, oh, okay, I'll go check out this artist, and then I'll be like, oh my god, why did
yeah,
I not check out this artist sooner?
yeah, yeah. That's cool. I'm gonna go back and listen to some more of your interviews.
Sounds
Check
great.
out some
I I appreciate it.
people.
We
No
always have an
problem.
eclectic time here on Audio Addiction, so if you guys
Yeah.
come back and watch, thank you. I appreciate it. But Casey, the next question I have for you is another fun one. If you could pick a song to cover, what would it be?
Oh my gosh. If I could pick a song to cover, what would it be? I don't know. Let me just see. One song.
One song,
I
yeah.
say, oh, I should cover all these songs, I say. And then what I do is I make these lists in my phone and then I forget what I want to do. Songs to cover. Definitely not in my register. I don't think so. Um, I'm just taking a look at some of these older covers that I wrote down for myself to do, and I think they're funny to share. So, um, looking out my back door,
All right.
living La Vida Loca. Okay, then,
Wow.
Cassie. Um, did I write this? Um, Black Hole Sun. Um, I don't know. Portishead. I do cover Portishead. Do you like Portishead? Have you heard of Portishead before?
I have not. Now I'm gonna go check it out.
Oh my gosh, one song. After you win it rains. Maybe like who sings that? Garbage. Maybe I don't know. That just popped in my head. My favorite thing to do is just like improv. Like I just love it when we can jam and just make up stuff. Seriously. And then I write all original songs. I just write my own songs, but I do some covers. I do want to do a lot of covers. I think I'm going to learn
Okay.
like 50 covers one summer so I can also just play at weddings or something if I want. What do you think about that?
I think that's a solid move,
It's
you
fun.
know.
Yeah. 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 I really love Sylvan Esso. Have you heard of her? Have you heard of
Yes,
Sylvan
I
Esso?
have. Yeah,
Regina Spektor,
Regina Spektor. Yes, also
Nora
heard of.
Jones. I love Regina Spektor. She's probably one of my favorites. Um,
Ooh, all right, all right. I love the choices here. You know, there could be. Listen, there's so much music out there as we've been, talking about. So again,
Tom Waits.
John Waits, another
Okay.
fantastic artist. But if you have,
I'll stop. I'll stop.
it's all good. It's all good.
Sorry, I'll stop interrupting.
I think it's because there's like a smidge of delay where I'll be talking and I'll try to figure out what you're saying, and then like, products of the internet. That's what I'm gonna lay it down at. But if you have any suggestions for Cassie, drop them in the comments. Who knows? You may see a cover from her that has been suggested in the comments. So, can't confirm or deny, but I believe.
I will take suggestions for covers.
Might as well,
So
It's
there
coming
you go.
straight from the source,
Yeah,
that's how I think
listen.
about it,
Yeah, totally. I like that.
There we go.
That's cool.
Well, we'll move on to the next question, Cassie, which this is a big one, I always like asking this question. If you could pick somebody to collaborate with on an up and coming record of yours, who would you love to have on?
Wow, that's a great question. I'm gonna have to think about that one for a second.
As you should, this is a crucial moment,
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Okay, it's well, I think I would love to collaborate with India Ari. I just think she's
Ooh.
really cool. Like, I just think she's incredible person, woman. I love her music. I love her perspective on wellness and how she shares herself and she shares her stories in this very like natural way that's super powerful. And I like love her music. So yeah, I would say maybe her for sure. I mean, there's a lot of people, but she just popped up in my head. So
I love it.
yeah.
Guys,
What about
listen.
you?
Who would I love to collaborate with? Oh, that's.
Yeah. What about you? Does anyone ask you?
I feel like if I'm gonna shoot for the fences, I think someone. I mean, locally, that one's a little more difficult. But I feel like someone who I've seen in interviews that I would love to interview is Foo Fighters. I feel like Dave Grohl is such a like force. I feel like that
Oh
would be
my
amazing. Like I
gosh.
feel like his energy, my energy,
Wow.
that would be.
Dave Grohl.
I would feel completed in
Wow.
life, if that were to happen. I know
Grohl.
Dave
Okay.
watches the channel, so shouts to Dave Grohl, So
Oh my gosh. So if you are watching this, Dave Grohl, like my very first concert when I was 11, I just turned 11. I don't know who let me go to this concert. It was a Foo Fighters concert. And my girlfriend
what?
knew about it, and we went with our little French friend. We were in junior lifeguards in San Diego, and we somehow got tickets to this. We were like these kids, and we were in this big line for the Foo Fighters. And I'm like, what? I'd never heard of him before. And so we get in. It's crazy. It's a mosh pit, and there's just like hundreds of people, and I'm 11. Okay,
Oh my god.
and I'm like, food fighters, because I didn't really know who they were, and I kept shouting, food fighters, and like totally embarrassed my friends. I was not cool. But then I got up on that stage, and I freaking jumped off the stage and had my first, what do you call this thing when you like stage
Crowd
float?
surf.
What is
Crowd
it called?
surfing.
Crowd surf. I crowd surfed, and it was amazing. And then it like quickly turned into a mosh pit, and we were like, we gotta get out of here.
Oh my
But like
god.
that's so funny. I hope that like he hears this. That would be funny. We should tag him
I
for sure.
listen, Dave Grohl. Listen, I'm trying, man. I'm trying. That'd be great. So
Never say never.
that's what I say. It's
Cool.
it's always a no is only a maybe. That's what I realize. It's
Yeah.
just like it's a no for now, you know, believe in that manifestation power.
So no for now. Yeah. I would also totally make an album with Alanis Morissette. I think she's
Ooh,
really cool.
all right.
Yeah.
Is
We're
that the
on
is that the
December.
answer we're locking in, Cassie?
I don't know. You might have to pause and you just have to pick. I'm gonna close my eyes. I can't decide. Okay.
All right. Well,
So
guys,
yeah, lock it
listen.
in and
We believe in, like I already told you, we believe in manifestation. So what you got to do is you have to go on twitter.com. You have to tag Cassie Fireman on Twitter, which, you know, I'd imagine she has Twitter, you know, but if she doesn't, again,
I don't. I'm not on
oh,
Twitter.
well, listen, we're going to still make this happen. All right. So you go just type in Cassie's name on Twitter, and then you also tag Alanis Morissette, because I imagine she uses Twitter, but I'm not 100% sure. If not, her team definitely uses, you know, Twitter. I don't know. I can't confirm. We'll post Brandon. We'll find out whether or not that's true or not. But what you want to do is you want to tag Alanis Morissette, and you also want to tag Cassie, even though she doesn't have, you know, Twitter. But just put her name on there, and then, you know, tag it somewhere else. Instagram, that's also a viable option. You know, definitely do that, and then type in the word collab question mark. And again, I'm not a law student. Didn't go to law school, but you know, if it's out there on the internet, it's got to be
Hey,
real,
it's
right?
real.
It's got to be real. So that's all I'm saying. You know, I'm not telling you should do it. Just politely asking if that's it. That if you felt the need to want to do it and you want to make it
We
happen. You
wouldn't
know,
stop you.
no, we're not gonna stop you.
Yeah.
But
No,
you
we
know,
won't.
the hands are free. You know, so like just, you know, that if you want to do it, I'm just gonna leave that there. So
If you want
do
to
it up.
do it, okay. Just gonna leave it right
Just
there.
gonna leave it right there. So, you know, again, tag her on Instagram. You know, same thing. You know, but can't confirm. You know, don't wanna put out that misinformation. But you know, could
I
very well
do
be in the
have
could
Instagram.
very well be in the books right now as we're speaking. So,
Right.
guys,
I'm
come
getting a
on.
call.
You're like,
Alanis. Oh my
hello.
god.
Oh my god, I can't. Oh, wow, word travels fast. This
Regina
is good.
Spektor?
There we go.
Like, hang
So,
on.
listen,
Okay.
tag them
You know,
in said metaphorical post that you may or may not post to your social media, and you know, that's all I gotta say. That's it. That was my TED talk. So, do it up,
awesome.
guys. I always love getting into that because I feel like, you know, you should do it, but you know, I'm again not here to force you. You know, that's you make your own decisions, but it would be a very nice one if
That's
you
on
made the
you.
right decision. You know,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm not saying anything. These are good questions.
Oh,
These are
thank you,
good questions.
thank you, thank you. Well, I'm gonna give you another question to struggle with, Cassie. Is obviously Chase is going to be out or will be out around the time this video comes out. Um, Beyond Chase, is there any song that you would recommend to a new listener that had wind up clicking on this video and I was like, I like what, you know, I like what Cassie's doing. Is there any other song that you're like, man, of yours that you're like, I think you should check this one out?
Oh yeah. I actually released a song uh, called Thin Air. And there's a music video on YouTube and it's a totally different vibe. And there's a little bit of um, I wrote and directed that one too. And
Oh,
I would love for you to take a look actually. It did well. It's gotten a lot of views. People like it, I think. Um, I shot it in LA. I was in a tunnel. I saw a coyote. It was cool. There was a whole thing, and that song is about my dad who passed
oh,
when I was 17, but it's got its whole own vibe too, where you wouldn't even know that if you just heard it. So again, that's what I love about music is it's just, you know, it's its own animal, so to speak. So yeah, that's you can follow me on YouTube and You can check out what's it called? Yeah, Thin Air, my single that I released several months ago. And like I said, I have a few more coming up in the next few months. And there's a music video that I shot during COVID in the woods, like with my own video camera. Well, actually, Ben had it with his phone, so it's very like made in the backwoods, which is
Respect.
kind of funny. So, and it's like I edited that for hours and weeks, and it was frustrating, but it was fun. So that was my like little pandemic project in the woods, and that's called Siren, the Siren song by Cassie
Ah,
Fireman. So you
love
can
it.
check that
Yeah.
out.
As someone again who spends a lot of time editing videos, I gotta give you the salutes.
Well, thank you very much. And then I'll give you one more because it's from my band, and I think of
Ooh,
Dirty May Band. So it's called Big Red. Uh, and it's like me and a bunch of my girlfriends wore the big red coats and we snuck into a graveyard briefly. And it was really wonderful. And we created we had permission.
okay,
And it was just a very cheeky, fun, kind of campy video. Um, and it's sort of funny and fun. So you can check that out. So different vibe. You might like to check out Dirty May also. Um, and yeah, so check it out.
there
Come
we
say
go.
hi. And I'm also starting up a private Facebook group where I'm going to be doing monthly concerts uh, with followers on new music that I'm working on. And just go a little bit deeper into the creative process and behind the scenes, and just sharing a little bit more vulnerably and privately there.
Yeah,
So that'll be something you can check out as well.
there we go. Well, guys, you already know if you've been familiar with the channel for long enough. All the links in the description. Go check them out. Go give us a subscribe. Listen, you need to go do that if you are into this like pop, indie pop sort of sound. It's gonna be right up your alley. So go check the links below. I'll leave a link to all of the things that Cassie is doing down there. So go give it some love. Go support. Be greatly
Thank
appreciated.
you.
But the next question,
Thank you so much.
no problem.
I keep thinking you're ending it with,
I
you're
know.
just
Well,
so good at this.
it's the
I know, you're
delay. I
so
think it's
good.
just the delay. It's just like where I'm finishing a sentence and then it's just like we'll the edit will make sure that that doesn't happen. But we got it. We got it. But the next question I have for you, Cassie, is if you were to compile a dream tour lineup, including yourself, who would you love to go out on tour with?
Mm. I would go on tour. Um, I I would love to go on tour with Florence and the Machine.
Ooh, okay.
Um, really big fan of hers. Maybe Sylvan Esso.
Oh, okay.
Really love her stuff. That could be very fun. Um, yeah, I don't know. We'll just start with that. Yeah.
Ooh, very intimate show.
Yeah, I could just. The Lumineers, I think I'd want to go on tour with. I'd like to go on tour with Driftwood as well. Maybe Maddie Walsh and the Blind Spots. Probably just want to go on tour with like all my favorite people. Like you just want to go be with people on the road that you get along with. Yeah. Okay. I'll let you know if anything else pops.
I
That's a great
listen.
question.
Though, yeah, it is a very. I know that one is very much a a title holder here on the channel, but it's always cool because I do like when bands really just are friends already. Like they just like the camaraderie, of just a good
Yeah.
homies tour. It's just nothing can beat it. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be expecting just a great like friends tour coming to a city near you. So I'm excited.
Heck yeah.
So keep your eyes peeled,
Yes.
guys.
Thank you.
But the next question I have for you, Cassie, is favorite TV show, favorite movie.
Oh my gosh. Favorite TV show. Oh, I really like the White Lotus. I'm watching that right now, so I'm
Oh,
just gonna
okay.
say
All
that.
right.
Yeah, and my favorite movie. Is that what you said? My favorite
Yes,
movie?
that is correct. Yeah.
My favorite movie. Um, oh, I'm like thinking of Clockwood Orange and Fight Club and Free Willy and My Girl. Like, how many different movies? Those are like four totally different kinds of movies.
Classics,
So
though, in their own
one
right.
of those four. Yeah, it's true. My Girl. Wow, that was a disturbing movie to watch as a kid.
Yeah.
If
I
you haven't seen it, don't.
I have, so I didn't see it as a kid, to be fair.
Who decided that was the kids' movie? Okay, okay. Oh, the kid, her boyfriend gets stung by all the bees and dies.
Oh,
Oof,
heart
so
wrenching.
sad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Don't, if you are a
Yeah.
kid, don't watch
No,
it. It's not,
don't watch My Girl. Not
no,
worth
that's
it.
not worth it.
Don't
Not
do
worth
it.
it.
I'm
You know,
definitely gonna go
unless
watch it now. You know that,
unless you
right?
love
This is
trauma,
basically
then
my.
if you love trauma, then watch it. But otherwise, just don't. It's not.
Oh,
It's a heart wrenching. It's like people always. When
yeah,
it's like watching like Marley and Me. That's like another. If you're an animal lover,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
rough. That's a rough one.
I know. Yeah.
And then it just makes me want to squeeze
The
my cat on my
Handmaid's
bed.
Tale was.
You know.
I, yeah, yeah, totally.
Handmaid's Tale is great too. That's a fantastic show. I really been enjoying that. I haven't watched the newest season yet, but I'm gonna start. I'm gonna have to
Mm-hmm.
just start watching it. It is just
Mm-hmm.
it.
It's
Ooh,
good.
last season was nuts,
Good.
so I'm only expecting it to be just more intense, more insane. I think this is their
What
final
about
season. Am
oh
I?
yeah,
I think it is. I'm not. I'll have to find out. I don't follow TV as much as I used to.
Dragons?
Oh, okay.
Did you watch House of
I did
Dragons?
not. No, my shout outs to my office friends, but they're like my
Mm-hmm.
one friend Chris is like so invested in that show, and he has like said every week, House of Dragon, House of Dragon, House of Dragon, and I
Oh
watched
yeah,
Game of
there's like
Thrones.
podcasts.
I have watched Game of Thrones, and I was not. I watched the like first couple episodes, just I wasn't vibing, and similarly to House of Dragons, I just figured since it's kind of like
Yeah,
made by the same people, I don't know, just that might be my
yeah.
hot take. I know everybody's gonna start
That's
like commenting and being like, "Brandon, how could you?" But that I don't
ooh.
know. It wasn't for me.
The first episode was like they threw a child out the window and it died, and I was like, I can't watch this. Like I almost did not watch anymore. That was the first episode. It threw me. It totally turned me off. Yeah, I'm really picky about TV now. Time is precious, so we gotta watch
Oh yeah.
like good stuff. Good stuff.
It's usually
Um,
me just like chilling in my bed and I'm just watching like YouTube videos. Like I am very much a YouTube like just watch a bunch of YouTube
YouTube.
videos. I'll watch like I love to cook in my free time, so I'll just watch other people like make recipes.
Cool.
So,
That's
that's how I
great
chill
YouTube.
out.
YouTube.
Just chill out, watch some YouTube, figure out what the next kind of concoction or dish that I'm going to be thinking about like for the next 24 hours and then
Yeah.
sleep on it and then maybe make it, who knows.
Ooh. Now I'm like really hungry. Yeah,
Oh,
that sounds good.
we'll have
Really.
to, we're getting close to the end, so Cassie, you'll be able to eat much like myself. So I
Oh wow,
we're
thank
on the
you.
same wavelength.
You and the boyfriend.
But the next question, listen, I am not gonna leave you without one of my favorite questions, and I always get elicit probably one of the best reactions. Um, if you were to be stuck on a desert island for the next month, and there was one album you could bring with you to listen to, what album would that be?
I just have to go with Jewel. Jewel
Ooh,
was like my like as a young teen, like I was just like, and she stayed in my heart forever. I just love to rock out to her songs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any albums specifically, Cassie?
Pieces of Me, Pieces of Me, or Pieces of You is what it's called, Pieces of You, which is like her old stuff.
Oh yeah.
Um, and probably Ani DeFranco. Like I can't remember. I think her like album was like Little Castles. It's been a long time. Um, yeah, yeah. I could think of some more too. There's some Stevie Nicks. I just have to. You'd have to have a mix of things out there if you're going to be there. You just well then if you just have one album, you better make sure that the songs are kind of different. You know,
I
you
feel
don't
that.
want to just take someone out there that's like all going to sound the same. We've got to mix it up a little bit. I think for me, so I have to think about that and get back to you.
We'll figure out the answer. Cassie's final answer will be on the screen right now. She'll
Yeah,
email me. She's gonna let me know what it
I,
is. If
I
not, I'm
know.
just gonna go with the Jewel album,
Like
and that's what we're
hit
going.
me. There we go.
It's listen. I
That's a
always
good
say
way to
this
go.
about my interviews. It's always like the post, like you in the moment you're like I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what the answer is. And then after I'll get I it always happens. I'll get a text
I'm like,
message, I'll get like some sort of message on like Instagram, whatever, and I'll be like, no, this is my answer. You got to change it to this one. This has got to be my answer. So
that's so fun. And
I'm gonna
people do that.
imagine you are going to. I imagine that you're going to do that. If not,
Okay.
I hope I get proved wrong. You know, I like the
Okay.
instantaneous
Okay.
answer, but
Yeah, I'm
have a
fine with
strong
it. Yeah.
conviction. You know.
Okay. Okay. I like it. These are good questions. Again,
Thank you,
we
thank
need to
you.
be thinking about this stuff.
Well,
Like
I'm
I
gonna
said,
give you
it's all
the hardest question right now, Cassie. I've been ending a
oh
lot of my
boy.
interviews off with this question, and just I feel like after the pandemic, it's been very fitting for me to ask this question, and I just love it enough to just keep it as a permanent question. But, um, thank you first and foremost for spending this hour with me. It's been awesome. Guys, go check out Cassie. You already know. We're going to talk about that in just a second. But um, what do you want people to take away from what you do as an artist? Because a lot of the times, in these interviews, we have a great conversation and kind of give a better idea of the person behind the music and why they make it. So, why do you choose to create? What is the driving force behind like being a musician and wanting to create?
I just it makes my life feel more real, and it's really fun, and um, I like to be intimate with people in that way, and making music really kind of fulfills that. And I think I'd be really bored without it. So that's the
That's a
answer.
fair sentiment. I probably would feel the same way. So we're on the same boat. But I love that.
And I honestly, it's like it really, yeah, it really. I actually think like I mean, I know we're wrapping with this, and I've been really playful, but like I have healed like back pain with the sound of my own voice with vibrations, like just sound healing, and like this whole idea that like everyone can sing. Like I'm totally from that. Like I think that there is energy and movement through the way we activate our voice, and and also our body. I'm a big mover, and when I started making music and like dancing again in my life, it was like I was came out of like a really dark place, and it just is kind of what fuels me,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
has me stay connected, um and so so that's just really where it's at. It just kind of feels like medicine. It just is kind of a place to go to make sense of the things that don't make sense and deal with the things that want to surface, and hopefully have a lot of fucking fun and not forget to have fun, and not to forget that this is something we can do together, you know. So yeah, I would be really sad if like I could not do this anymore, or live music ever disappeared, or anything like that. So
I feel that, as
yeah,
someone who like grew up around music and it has been, a formative point in my life. It's really cool to know that, all of the artists that I've had on for doing this for in February, I'll be doing this for 7 years, which is wild to me. Um,
yay! Wow,
Thank
that's a
you.
big number,
Thank
7.
you. I'm 3 years away from a decade, and I feel like that's gonna freak me out more. But I I think it's just such a cool thing that, and I always mention this a lot in my interviews, but music connects in ways that I feel like most people don't really they just take it for granted, like I think that music is just this universal language that everybody can kind of understand, or like, you can imagine other like big popular bands that go to other countries and there's people that are singing their songs. So there has to be some sort of level of connection that you feel with this music, even if
Right.
it's not spoken in the
Yes.
language that you speak. So I think it's, for
Mhm.
me as an interviewer and has been doing it for quite a significant amount of time, I always try to find that point where, if the music doesn't speak to you, then it's like maybe you're not digging deep enough, or maybe you're not allowing yourself to be open to it. And I think that that's
Mhm.
really kind of a necessary thing, because there's a lot of emotion, there's a lot of heart that gets put into things that are written. And it's important to have that sort of like understanding of where it comes from, and why it's important to you. It's important for the people that I have on to make music, but I think it's important for people to take away those important aspects of why they write and why they want to do music. It's to have that connection. So I felt very connected to it. Again, the music video, I can rehash that many, many times. I'm not going to, but I think that having the context behind it and listening to the music, now it's all coming together and it makes sense for me now, and I can go and listen to other songs that Cassie's going to be releasing within the next couple months and really kind of be more invested, more thought provoking. So always great, and I thought your answer was spot on.
Thank you so much. You are so awesome. I appreciate all that you're doing for us. And thank you, everybody on here who's watching and listening. Come say hi. And I can't wait to check out actually all the other people you've interviewed as well on here. And I just appreciate your support for artists. So thank you for having me.
No problem. This is the perfect segue, Cassie. The way that where I always end it. Tell the people where they can find you on social media, what you have coming up in the next couple months, and anything else you would like to plug or talk about.
Okay, great. Yes. So January 20th, I'm dropping my new single Chase, and that will be on Spotify, and you can find that on my Instagram at Cassie Fireman. You can also follow me on YouTube at Cassie Fireman, and you can check out my retreats at balanceguitar.com. We have a retreat coming up in January, surfing, yoga, meditation, and guitar. And let's see, anything else I'm forgetting? Uh, if I am, I will let you know later, or you can come find more information that I'll post in those areas. So thank you so much.
There we
You're
go. Well,
awesome.
again, go check out Cassie Fireman. Great stuff. Again, not particularly the music I normally cover here, but we always trying to branch out. We're always trying to do something different here on Audio Addiction. So always, you never know what's going to be coming next. So I would like to keep you guys on your toes. But go check out Cassie. She's awesome. All of the applicable links for all of her different things that she's doing, because there's a lot of different stuff. All will be in the description, so go check it out. Go support her, and go get that new song a listen. Chase comes out on January 20th, so this will be coming out again in that sort of time period. So keep your eyes peeled. And if you enjoyed this interview, share it, like it, subscribe. It goes a long way. It will also be on audio format. I am currently in the midst of going through 7 years worth of interviews and throwing them all up on streaming platforms. So if they are, if
Oh,
they, it's a process. So I feel like people are wondering where they're at. It's just been a long time coming. So I am muddling my way through it, but I'll have to keep just dishing them out. But keep your eyes peeled. There will be more interviews to come in the audio portion, or you can be cool and watch the video. That'd be really awesome. So go do that. And then again, massive shout outs to Angela at Muddy Paw. Love her. She's awesome. Please go support
Thank
them. They're great.
you.
And again, lastly, go check out Cassie Fireman, and huge thanks to Cassie for coming on tonight and chatting with me.
Thank you so, so much. I hope to do it again soon.
All
So
right.
nice to meet you. Thank you.